Hey, what's up? It's me, JDS4696. Today I'm giving my review for Avengers Age of Ultron. So I finally got to see this film like on a Sunday actually, because I tried to see it like opening day, then I tried to do it Saturday too, but I couldn't I couldn't make those showings. So I just actually ended up seeing it Sunday, and I chose to watch the Avengers in the IMAX 3D, so I can get like the largest version of it possible. And I must say, I enjoy it. And for my opinion, I think I kind of enjoyed this more than the original Avengers, because like I mentioned before, I wasn't really too big of a fan of the first Avengers. But maybe if I had watched it a couple more times, I gave it like multiple viewings, I probably would think it was like more, a much more enjoyable film. I know a lot of critics liked it and stuff at the time. But this one I thought was pretty good, and this is called the Avengers: The Age of Ultron. Now this version of the Avengers like storyline, this actually is based on like a comic like story arc called Age of Ultron. That was I think it was released like it's kind of new. I know I think it's like only like a couple years old, like the actual like film itself that this is based on. I mean, like the actual comic arc story that it is based on is like just a few years old, and it was also known as Age of Ultron. But like the film is basically about the Avengers. They're teaming up again. Well, actually they never disbanded or anything like that. But now they have to confront like a new enemy that is like an artificial intelligence known as Ultron. Now in the film, Ultron is created by like Tony Stark and I think like Bruce Banner, like the Hulk. But like in the actual comics, like the comic storyline, it wasn't like that if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't created by like Bruce Banner or Tony Stark. It was actually created by somebody else. But in the film, the Ultron artificial intelligence actually is created by like Tony Stark and like Bruce Banner. So it goes like haywire, and it takes over like a basically like a robot form, like robot armor that it jumps into or whatever. That it decides to like conquer the world and destroy the world and stuff like that. Like the usual take over like or destroy the world like thing. Like sometimes almost kind of similar to like Skynet, like the computer, like in like Terminator, kind of similar to that to a certain extent. Cause like from the very beginning, the film opens with like an explosive like action sequence. With the team, they're pursuing like Loki's like I think it's like staff, and it's like in like a European country like known as Sokovia. I think I'll have a trouble pronouncing the name, but I know it's like in a European country, and they're after the sector that Loki uses. Like his sector that he uses. They're after that. So it's like they're like in like a snowy environment. It's like all of them fighting, like having like action scenes and stuff. It was cool. I thought it was cool. Like they had like a fun sequence, like with actually with all like the heroes, combined. I thought it was a good opening intro for the film. I thought it was cool. But eventually they create like the Ultron, the artificial intelligence, which becomes Ultron. Like I said before, like it decides to take over like where it wants to cause like the extinction of the human race, basically, or whatever. And two new heroes are brought into the mix too as well. You have Quicksilver, and I think it's the Scarlet Witch, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that are brought into like the mist. You know what I'm saying? Now eventually they kind of be on like the side of like Ultron, but then they realize that he's after like the extinction of like the human race or whatever, basically like that. So they kind of like decide to go ahead and join with the Avengers in the end. Like become like part of the heroes basically. Now you have like the previous like cast members from the original returning too, like Robert Downey Jr. as like Tony Stark, Iron Man, or like Chris Evans as Captain America, Steve Rogers, like Mark Ruffalo or Ruffalo, I'm not really sure if I'm saying his name right, as like Bruce Banner, like the Hulk, and like Chris Hemsworth as Thor, like people like that. And then you have like Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow, and Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. So all of them are like returning, as well as the heroes. But then they're introducing new. Oh yeah, and Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. But now they're introducing like you have the Vision, who I know I'm very fond of too. I know the Vision because he's actually my favorite like hero of the Avengers. Like I remember like in the arcade games that they had ported it to like the systems back in the early 90s. I know like the look for the Vision was like gold at the time, like a gold look, but he still had like the crystal on his head like that. I think like the stone, I think like the Infinity Stone, I think it is. He still had that on his forehead. But in this film, they have Paul Bettany like doing his voice, and I think that was actually him too. I think I'm not mistaken, like with the motion capture, because it looks just like Paul Bettany, you know, except he has on like all this makeup and stuff. But the cool part about the film, and I thought this was a cool villain, was the Ultron, like the robot like villain. I thought that was awesome. I'm gonna touch on that right now, you know. Yeah, like the Ultron villain itself, it is voiced by James Spader, and I think that the villain was like cool, you know. I thought I really enjoyed. I liked the way his voice sounded. I liked the look of it too, you know. And it looks so like, you know, for it to be like a robot. It looks so like featured, like, you know what I'm saying, it had so many features, like the way they did like the animations and stuff for like his face, like the eyes, like say if you're looking at this person, you'll look there or you'll turn, look, you know what I'm saying, it just, I thought it was cool, and it's like he's like massive, you know, he's like real like tall and stuff. I thought it looked cool, you know. Now I wasn't really familiar with the Ultron like villain. I wasn't like really familiar with him from like the comics or anything like that. I knew the Avengers, but just like from the first Avengers, I wasn't really that familiar with Loki, and I know he's like really like a villain like the Thor like universe, like as far as like Marvel go, like he's really like part of the Thor, like, you know, family or whatever. I didn't really know him, but like Ultron, I wasn't really familiar with the Ultron villain until like this film, you know. I may have seen him, even like Loki, I may have seen him like in the comics and stuff like that, I'm sure, like I've seen him, but then you know, I didn't recall or knew who they were, you know. But yeah, I think James Spader did a good job as the voice of him, you know. And plus, like the two, like you have like two new heroes, like Quicksilver, and you have like the Scarlet Witch, and I thought they were kind of cool too, you know. Especially like the idea that the Scarlet Witch can like possess you, you know, like she has this ability like to possess people, like control them, because she uses it on the Hulk at one point. Now it was a cool scene where the Hulk like turns like bad, you know, like, and so like then Iron Man with Tony Stark, he has to bring out his Hulk Buster suit that they call it to fight the Hulk, and I thought that was kind of cool, you know. I mean, like the action sequence is like real quick. You can't kind of hardly tell what's going on, but I thought they did like, I thought it was cool, like action sequence, seeing like the Hulk fight like this, the Iron Man in this Hulk Buster suit. I thought that was kind of cool the way they did that, you know. But yeah, in the end, there were a bunch of like action sequences, you know, that I really enjoy. And at times it gets kind of like, you know, it kind of like drifts off and kind of like slows down, you know, and stuff like that. But I thought it was still like a fun, like decent film, and I really liked it, like the Ultron villain too as well. I thought that was like cool, like awesome, you know. He looked cool, and I liked like the way James Spader like did his voice and stuff. I thought that was like cool and stuff as well. So yeah, I would recommend it for like, especially if you're a fan of the first Avengers and stuff like that, or like, you know, like Marvel superheroes in general. I would recommend watching the Avengers Age of Ultron. Now the version I saw, I saw it of course in 3D and like IMAX, and I saw it on a big screen, you know, so it looked very cool and everything, and exciting to be in that format. But yeah, I guess I would recommend it, you know. I think it was like, and I actually thought it was kind of better than the original one, because I remember when I first saw the original Avengers, I wasn't too like, you know, I didn't really enjoy it too much. But maybe if I gave it like multiple viewings and stuff, or watch it again, you know, I probably would like it more. I wouldn't be surprised, you know. Maybe in the end I may do a eventual like review for that as well, you know. So yeah, this is my review for the Avengers Age of Ultron. And you have like the same director as well. I just wanted to mention him. Joss Whedon, he actually returned for like to direct this film too as well. But I know I don't think he's scheduled to direct the next two, because you know there are going to be 2 more Avengers films where they bring in like the villain known as Thanos. Now I know Thanos, like, but they're bringing him in for like the next 2 I think entries. But I know the next one, the Infinity War, that's what they're calling Avengers Infinity War, and they're bringing Thanos in. Now that's a villain I knew. I'm very familiar with Thanos. So yeah, he's supposed to be in the next ones, you know, whenever they get to those. And I think they're supposed to bring in like a new set of Avengers as well too, you know, because I know towards the end they bring in Vision now. Then they got like, you know, the Scarlet Witch and stuff like that, you know, in it too as well. But yeah, I thought this was a decent. Oh yeah, and they had like another cameo as usual by Stanley, where he was like drunk and stuff. And this is right before like the introduction of like the Ultron, where they use like drunk and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool because you know he always makes like the usual cameo appearances in the Marvel films, you know, like the cinematic like films, you know. So yeah, this is JDS 4696, and this is my review for the Avengers: Age of Ultron, and I would recommend it, you know.